And good morning is 7:04 on this Tuesday, January 14th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A Tuesday morning, the sun is shining, or going to be, and it's cold out there. I think my car said 18 degrees. We got a lot of frost this morning, but we are here, and you're there, and that's great. And we, of course, are on the air for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And this morning, we'll be talking with someone from Mount Juliet momentarily. But first, it's time for today's Health Minute, brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Colon cancer is the second deadliest cancer in the United States. In recent years, colon cancer is being detected in younger people at higher rates. Colon cancer does not show symptoms, but it may cause frequent stomach pain, blood in the stool, and unexpected weight loss. Here's 5 habits to help prevent colon cancer. 1. Exercise regularly and maintain a healthy weight. 2. Incorporate lots of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains into your diet. 3. Limit your intake of red meat and animal fats. 4. Don't smoke tobacco and limit how much alcohol you drink. 5. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin D. In addition to these habits, it's important to get regularly screened for colon cancer. The American Cancer Society recommends people with an average risk for colorectal cancer start regular screening at age 45. For more information, visit VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com. All right, here on this Tuesday morning, we're going to go to the telephone, and somebody else has answered it and put it on hold. But I'm imagining we're going to be talking with Justin Beasley, the Mount Juliet Communications Director. Justin, are you there?
Your imagination serves you correct, Walker.
Good morning and welcome again.
Good morning, Coleman. I feel like it probably has been a month since I've talked to you.
It has been a while.
I think I texted you the Monday before Christmas Eve, and I was like, man, I'm really looking forward to this radio appearance. Please tell me you're going to be at work. And you're like, no, we got other programming. So we've missed you for sure, Coleman.
Right. Well, since we got to be off 2 days there, those 2 weeks, it was nice. Sleep late if you can and want to, and all that good stuff, you know.
Coleman, I used to work in the media, man. When you can get those holidays off, you and MJ and the rest of the staff, man, y'all deserve it. I'm not complaining.
Well, I don't know about deserving, but we'll sure take them. How's that?
Yeah, take the compliment, right?
How you been?
I've been good. City of Mount Juliet, you know, if you've seen the news and followed our Facebook or any of our social media platforms, man, I tell you what, our public works crews, they did a really good job when it came to the snow coverage. You know, we pre-treated the roads last week on Thursday. Toby Toombs, our fleet manager, got everything out and running and making sure, because, you know, if you let that thing sit long enough, you know, all the snow plows and the brine mixer and all that won't work. So they were very proactive on that front. Friday morning, 7 a.m., kind of when we saw snow in Wilson County, they were out on the roads, and based on the snow and how it came and when it froze, you know, our team was ready. I told the news, we had a couple of local interviews come by, and I said, you know, these guys aren't learning on the job. When I went out there, I saw a lot of familiar faces that knew what they were doing, and they were swapping out 12-hour shifts and did a really good job of keeping our roads clean. I think our residents would agree. We had one gentleman last night that came up to the podium during citizen comments and basically was like, man, these roads look good. They looked awesome. I've never seen them look that good. And really, that's a testament to our elected body. They invested a lot in the last few years. You know, Kenny Martin mentioned, you know, we used to not have a snowplow. Now we have 5, and we have 4 running at all times. We have 1 that flexes between city properties and wherever a situation may arise that needs a little bit more attention. So, man, that thing's a well-oiled machine, and if you watch the news and you see, you know, future snow, future ice in the forecast in Mount Juliet, fear no more, because we're ready because of the resources that our elected body has afforded us, specifically within the Public Works Department.
Yeah, and I think while we're talking about this very thing, we could say pretty much the same for our people here in Lebanon. The problem, and what I understand, the reason that we're not having schools, didn't yesterday and today in the Wilson County schools, is the rural area. And I mean, we just don't, we can't get all the roads, and I don't know what it would be like in some of these rural places if even if we had the snow plow there, if we could get all that done. But it is great to have the roads clear in the city, and we hadn't hardly missed a beat here in Lebanon, and it sounds like the same for you in Mount Juliet.
Oh, absolutely. And, Bart Barker is a good friend of mine, and he does some great videos with, snow days and, the kids looking forward to being out of school. And, man, I remember that excitement, too. And Bart is a celebrity for that. But, from a city standpoint, and I bragged about our Public Works Department, we need people to get to their jobs. We want people to patronize stores, being so dependent upon sales tax. So, if anybody's praying for snow in Mount Juliet, Kenny Martin would ask them to stop. We want smooth roadways. We want people being able to get to work. We don't want a high volume of EMS calls or police calls, and helping people get from a hole or a ditch stuck in the snow. We need people inside those stores, and when it happens on a weekend like that, when most people are patronizing shops and small businesses, especially after Christmas, and using those gift cards and being in Providence, the city, as far as we run, takes a little bit of a hit. So we try to do our best job of making sure people can still travel, people can still get out. And we did something even on our Facebook, just a page where people could comment to say if they were open and what they were selling, just because we know, especially last year when it was a week long of snow and ice, our businesses hurt. They really did, and they're paramount. They're at the forefront of our mind, and I think we escaped one this last time, Coleman. If I'm being honest, we'll see if we can do that in the future. But I'm telling you, I love our team, and I would put them against anybody to make sure that the city continues to run at the speed at which it did before it snowed, and that's our best outcome.
All right, let me ask, because I can't keep up with all of your Board of Commissioners meeting, but did you have a meeting last night?
Yes, sir, we did. I would say one of the biggest things really that stood out to me was, the city, the mayor, the Board of Commissioners, Kenny Martin, we put forward $25 million for the Central Pike Interchange, really just to get on the TDOT's list. And the way we met with the governor, and instead of, saying, hey, where are we on this list, we put our money where our mouth is, and we really wanted, we're serious about this. I've talked to people of multiple, grandfathers and kids, and they're like, man, for as long as we have been here, we have heard about this Central Pike Interchange, these road widenings, and we're really needing it. It's about time, and we know TDOT does a great job, but right now we're at the point where we negotiated this with TDOT, brought some money to the table, really kind of changed how a city of our size with our budget is able to get on the list earlier. And I commend our elected body for doing that. Well, last night, Matt White mentioned a little bit about a budget amendment and resolution to give TDOT $5 million now. And that really is to complete the design and get started on right-of-way acquisition for the project. Of course, there's going to be some amendments specifically in that resolution that protects us, if the project gets delayed. But basically, Matt White presented that to the Board of Commissioners last night, saying probably before the next meeting, TDOT's going to ask for this. So that basically gives a conditional clause to where the mayor, when it's appropriate, will be able to sign that document and get TDOT, the appropriated funds, just so they can get to start working on that Central Pike Interchange. I'll commend Commissioner Scott Hefner last night. He said, when you see those cones out on the road, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that goes into it before, like I mentioned, design, right-of-way acquisition. That stuff does not happen overnight. A lot of diligent people working towards that to make sure it happens. So that's where we are at the Central Pike Interchange. I know I've always said pack your patience when it comes to roads and improvements and infrastructure. That is paramount. That is on the forefront of our mind as much as it is safety for our citizens. But I tell you, that's some good news. That means the ball's kind of rolling. When you hear about design and right-of-way acquisition, some would say, and I'm not an engineer, I'm not the smartest guy in the world by any means, but that's a lot of heavy lifting. So a lot of work ahead of us, but it's good that we're finally getting down to it and really getting to work.
Well, that no question, you're right about that. But Justin, let me ask you, best case scenario. I mean, if things really begin to fall into place and the project begins to move forward, what's maybe the earliest possible date of completion?
Ooh, Coleman, that's a good question. I don't know if I'm gonna fall for that one. I don't know if I can put a date on it. And I say that because you never know what's going to happen. You know, the floods in East Tennessee right now, the state could put some funds towards that to restore, those lives and the livelihood over there in East Tennessee. So many different variables can change this. All I can say is when you look at it the last 2 years from the elected body standpoint, and previous elected bodies have put us in a position frugally to be able to bring these funds to the state, be able to negotiate this, have some power at the table, have some respect, have some skin in the game. And I don't think there's anything more that we could do at this point to try to get that Central Pike interchange up and ready as soon as we can. It is all hands on deck, and our elected body has, again, as I say, put their money where their mouth is, and we've done a really good job in that front.
All right, time for us to take a break. We'll talk more with Justin Beasley from Mount Juliet in a moment. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower. 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
T-Dot still out here working this accident on 24 westbound, right near Bell Road. It's really interrupting all that heavy traffic that's trying to get up through Antioch right now, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 westbound at Bell Road as they mop up this accident. Looking a little bit better there in the Madison area from that crash, 65 southbound at OHB. Hey, when you need dependable towing, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery, serving all surrounding counties here in Middle Tennessee. Check out STRtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
We continue here on this Tuesday morning. Justin Beasley, who is the Communications Director for City of Mount Juliet, is with us. We were talking a little sports during the break here, and why not do a diversion or whatever here and do a little sports this morning. Super Bowl is waiting out there in the not too distant future, and the last of the preliminary games was last night with the Rams putting it to the Vikings.
They were. Coleman, it's funny you asked me a sports question because anytime I chime in on any of my social media platforms, everybody reminds me that I'm a former sports reporter, and they act like it's for a reason, like I can't have a sports opinion anymore. But, yeah, that game was a surprise. The Vikings really laid an egg the last 2 games against the Lions, where they could have been the 1 seed, and then against the Rams in the playoffs. And a lot of people are saying, their quarterback Sam Darnold's not going to get as big of a check. Man, I tell you, I have seen these games up close in person. It's a hard league to win in. It's the most toughest position to play in all of sports. I hope Sam Darnold can still get another opportunity and really get a big payday, because the guy cannot be afforded to have 2 bad games, especially when he was coming into the year as a backup. It's just hard to win. It's the reason they play those games. You see it all the time, upsets. So I'm not surprised totally by the outcome, but, the Rams, it's weird. They had a home game, but now it was moved to Arizona because of the fires. And I'll tell you, the city of Mount Juliet, and I hope everybody in Tennessee and surrounding are praying for those affected out there out west. But, it really galvanized that team. They went to Arizona. They eliminated the distractions and really played for the people in Arizona, which is kind of cool because you see sports can serve as such a good distraction and a way to bring a lot of people together. And there's no better example lately than what the Rams have been doing.
Well, you want to pick a Super Bowl winner? I don't put you on the spot much, do I?
My Super Bowl winner was Green Bay. I thought they had the situational kind of football team to win it all. But right now, I'll probably go. I like the Ravens with King Henry. Covering him for the Titans. I think he gives them a really good shot. And then I think they will play. I will go with the Lions. I'll go with the Lions. So I think that'll be a good Super Bowl, and I'll probably give it to the Ravens. The Ravens, just because the Lions' defense has a lot of injuries. But
all right,
I've stopped rooting for these games. I just like watching good games, Coleman.
You heard it. You heard it first right here from Justin Beasley. You did say which one did you pick to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, my answer has probably changed since a minute ago. No, Ravens and Lions. I think the Ravens win it all.
Oh, all right, King Henry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we better get back to the city of Mount Juliet. Anything else from last night's meeting you want to tell us about?
Nothing paramount. It was really cool. We had Boy Scouts, or should I say now Scouts Troop 153 from Mount Juliet Elementary. They came by and offered a great prayer invocation to lead our meeting, and they also led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Specifically, I'm trying to look up the gentleman's name. Luke Gregory, a member of the PAC, was the one that did the invocation and did a great job. We love when we can host any kind of group at City Hall. I get it. When you think about City Hall and the city, you think of meetings and you think of it can be kind of formal and rigid. But, man, I tell you, we want people to participate in local government as much as they can. And we're able to see that up close and personal and inspire a young generation to get involved in their local government where a lot of great things happen. It's very encouraging to us, and we'd love to fill that room.
All right. Justin, hold your thought for just a minute here, because I've had this announcement in front of me that I've had here for the last week, and every day I forget to do it, and today I want to do this because I should. The Wilson County Black Committee will celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Monday, January 20th, 2025 at Historic Pickett Chapel, 209 East Market Street, 12 noon to 3 p.m. The celebration will include guest speaker, Ms. Andrea Word, special presentation, civil rights, Tabitha Neal, poetry, music, and light refreshments. And that's coming up this coming Monday, celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King at Pickett Chapel. Now that you know that, and we'll try to remind you again a time or two, that courtesy of Mary Harris, of course. Back to you, Justin. What are some of the issues, maybe the problems, challenges that I don't know whether there's really anything new. We've talked about your long range project there with that second interchange and the Central Pike thing, which we've talked about many times. But getting away from that, other things that might be challenges or growth needs for the city of Mount Juliet.
It's a good question. I'm working on our end of year report right now for the mayor, James Manis, and we turned that into a state of the city slideshow to present at the chamber in February. And I just say, when you look back on your year, just how much we have to brag about at the city of Mount Juliet, and especially you look at the last couple of years and how it's been tough economically for so many cities and really, the nation. And you look at the list and you've got a Costco and you've got a BJ's Wholesale and you've got a Sprouts that's coming to Mount Juliet and, an Andrews Cadillac that now calls Mount Juliet home. There's just so much to be thankful for in a time where not many other people can say the same. And, God has blessed Mount Juliet and continues to bless Mount Juliet. And I just commend our elected body. They've done a really good job at being responsible with everything that we've been allotted and afforded to do. And, those situations and problems arise each and every day, and we do our best to tackle them as a team that Kenny Martin has constructed, and we do our best to carry out his vision, and we care about the little things, and we get the big things right when it comes to safety, when it comes to our police department, our EMS division, which is just one of 10 as far as cities that have one in the state of Tennessee. So I continue to call it a little slice of heaven, and I'll argue till I'm blue in the face that we've got it if somebody doesn't think that we do, because people are moving here. People are loving to call Mount Juliet home, and a lot of that has to do with our school system too. Wilson County Schools and Dr. Luttrell do a great job. So we just want to keep on keeping on as it currently stands in Mount Juliet.
Let's talk a little bit about traffic, because there have been some traffic issues over the years, and they were kind of getting worse. They were addressed some as just say the last 2 or 3 years. Has things settled down a little bit, or do you have quite a bit more traffic than say you had 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, I've always said that that's a double-edged sword, because you look at Mount Juliet, we did our population, our census population. I think we come back with 40,430, somewhere around there as far as our official account. And that's just up a little bit from the 39,000 that we had, I believe, in 2019. That's what we've counted. Obviously, there's probably a couple more that didn't fill out the census. I think, obviously Mount Juliet has boomed, and we've done a good job at the commission table of making sure we approve things at a healthy level of what we can contain as far as roads and subdivisions and just growing at a healthy rate. The traffic part, I see the traffic count. A lot of that comes from Hobson Pike, that comes from Laverne or Rutherford County just to get to Nashville. A lot of that comes to Providence to shop. A lot of that goes to maybe Lebanon or Hermitage near Lebanon Road. Now, traffic, I understand a lot of people might be upset with, trying to get their kiddos to and from school. But our businesses that we love, that we bet on, that they'll bring us a lot of sales tax because we got a lot of good, unique businesses in Mount Juliet, they love that traffic. Coleman, you want people to come and patronize and spend money in your city and then go back, outside of the city limits. So I say that as an elected body, they've done a really good job of making sure that we're trying to address these needs and making sure that traffic flows better. But when you have traffic that comes into the city, I would argue from some standpoint and from a lot of business owners' perspective, they welcome that and they want that. So I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. And Kenny Martin, he used to teach traffic school for the Mount Juliet Police Department. He's a former chief. And, he says a lot of times the traffic's bad because, people aren't taking that right on red when they can, and people are texting, and people aren't, I'm not saying following closely, but, there's a football field between them and the car in front of them. So I think a lot of that can be handled if we drove better. And I'd venture to say we probably drive worse in this generation than any other generation that preceded us. That's because of youngins like me that are distracted in the car, right?
Well, that was kind of a long answer, which is fine. But you presented. I hadn't really thought about that, but of course the businesses want traffic. So good point. We've got about 2 minutes. Anything else on your mind? Anything you've left off you can think of quickly here this morning?
Well, hey, I spent a lot of time with Kenny Martin, whether it's lunch meetings or in the car or staff meetings. So if I sound like a young Kenny Martin, I think Kenny even last night said, if that sounds kumbaya, I apologize. Hey, we just like to spread positivity, and it's like Mayor Hutto says, be kind, and that's what we try to do to separate ourselves. So sorry if I didn't give you the answer you wanted, Coleman, but that's the one that came to mind. Honestly, it did.
No, I just asked, and you spoke. Well said. There's two sides to most issues, and there's a positive about the heavy traffic, and you brought that out. As far as Parks and Recreation, I know y'all have worked on that, and I know as your population grows, there's more demand. You see any changes or anything there we can talk about for about a minute?
Yes, sir. We got a daddy-daughter dance coming up. I believe, I don't know if I think it might be in February, but, Rocky Lee was told, hey, we love this daddy-daughter dance, but there's only one, and it's already sold out within minutes.
Oh, boy.
Like dropping a new iPhone, they're all sold out really quick. We did 2 dances this year, and they both sold out. So many daddies and daughters are going to have a great night coming up very soon. It always feels like it's the weekend before the Super Bowl is when we have it. You can check online to see when that date is, but I don't think there's any more tickets to buy. And then the Mount Juliet Activity Center, we're going to have a ribbon cutting for that here soon that we're going to announce on our Facebook page as well. The specific date for that is January 24th, 10 a.m. That's right by the new police department, the Mount Juliet Activity Center. We bought that daycare. We're going to expand our footprint, and a lot of people excited about that one. Again, January 24th, 10 a.m. You'll see more of that on our Facebook and Instagram pages promoting that and welcoming the public to come.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We'll do again in 2 weeks, and have a good one.
Coleman, you're the man. Thank you again.
All right. Justin Beasley, the Communications Director for City of Mount Juliet. That's part 1 of Coleman & Company, and it's brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, high performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a crash out here in Rutherford County. It's on that 24 eastbound ramp onto 840. They're trying to finish this wreck up with the paperwork on 24 westbound at Bell Road here in Antioch. That's had traffic a little bit slow coming in from Murfreesboro here into this part of Davidson County on 24 westbound just past Bell Road. Give yourself extra time out here. It's busier this morning than it has been in a while. Princess Hot Chicken has live entertainment every Wednesday night from 6 to 9. Check it out online for more details at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Where a patient starts their cancer care matters. And here, that means Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, Wilson County. It's Vanderbilt level care without making the drive to Nashville. From screening to diagnosis to treatment and recovery, patients can get all the care they need right here close to home. So now, having the best care team and most advanced treatment is closer than ever. Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, making cancer care personal.
We'll have partly cloudy skies for today. Highs will be in the lower 40s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows around 20. A little bit cooler on our Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy. Afternoon highs in the upper 30s to around 40. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your severe view forecast, I'm Drew Richards.
And we welcome you to part 2 of Coleman & Company. It is a Tuesday, and Tuesdays at this time we feature Hearthside Senior Living, and Sean Dozier's the man there. He's the Executive Director for Hearthside, and Sean is going to talk with us on the phone this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman. I'm sorry not there in person, but I hope this will do.
Well, you're sounding fine here on the phone, and it's always good to hear your voice. It's even better to have you live in studio, of course. We'd like to see you, but you have your reasons, and it's great to be able to have you with us and talk about Hearthside Senior Living at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. So what's going on?
Well, I always enjoy talking about Hearthside. We sold a house this month to a lady, Barbara Cross. She's moving into 406 Morris Lane, and you know, we don't get to sell those very often because they don't come available very often, and she's going to move in this month. We painted the house for her and replaced the flooring, replaced any things that are broken or need to be fixed, any appliances that need to be fixed, and she's excited about moving in this month. And I ask people all the time, why do you do that? Why do people move into Hearthside? Why do you leave your farm? Why do you leave your nice 2-story house and move to Hearthside? Well, the answer is simple, and Barbara would say one word: steps. She's tired of going up steps, and she has a nice 2-story house, but she's tired of going up steps. She's tired of maintaining the maintenance on the house, and it's a rather it's an older house, so there's a lot of maintenance that goes along with it, as any house would have. And she has really been excited about moving into Hearthside. So why do you move into Hearthside? You move into Hearthside because it's really maintenance-free living. We have a maintenance director on site that takes care of all your maintenance needs, whether it's your roof, your windows, your filters, your light bulbs, your appliances. All that is included in the contract, and that's why people have left some wonderful places to move to Hearthside, and when they get here, they don't regret it. And I know Barbara won't regret it in a couple of months. When she's all settled in, she'll be happy she moved into Hearthside. It's a wonderful community, 30 homes, not too big, not too small, and we take care of all the maintenance needs, and that goes a long way for somebody who, as you get a little older, you don't have to worry about maintenance, don't want to have to worry about calling all of your appliances when they break down. And it's just been a great concept, and it's been very popular, and I'm excited about her moving in.
Well, there's just one problem, really, and you know what I'm going to say, that you just don't have but 30.
I know. That is an interesting problem to have. We do have a wait list, and some people, move on to Plan B or Plan C, but a lot of folks are still on that waiting list, and I'm always excited to give them a call when one becomes available. Switching to our assisted living, we do have one room available, which doesn't come often very often. So we just want to encourage the folks, if you're looking for an assisted living, Hearthside is a great place to consider. We have one price that's a reasonable price, a fair price, and for that price, you get a lot of things included in that price. We don't nickel and dime you, as Coleman likes to say. We give you that one price, and for a small room, it's rather affordable, and you get 3 meals a day. You get housekeeping, laundry, Wi-Fi. You get your cable, activities. All that's included in one price. And people, when they sign the contract to live here, they appreciate that. We don't try to charge a move-in fee, a community fee. There's a lot of fees that a lot of communities charge when they move in. We don't charge any of those fees, and that makes us very attractive. So if you're interested in assisted living, Coleman, stop by to see us, like you said, at 215 North Castle Heights Avenue, or go to our website at hearthsideliving.com, or call us at 615-443-1994.
Any way you want to contact Sean, he is going to be glad to hear from you and do his best to answer your questions and take care of your needs. I think we can say that without a doubt. And what's it like when it snows and you can't get out much? And I mean, I don't know how much it's different at Hearthside than it is at home or anywhere else, but at least it's different when snow comes.
For the residents, it's you stay in, you stay warm, you stay well fed. For the staff, it's 24/7. We don't stop. So, I'm out picking up folks, and we're in here whether it's snowing or whether it's 72 and sunny. We're always here, and the staff has done a tremendous job. In fact, Coleman, my Hearthside hello today goes to our staff. Specifically, I want to say thank you to Cindy Huffines. She's from the Carthage area. She's been here with us for 6-7 years, and she stayed overnight a couple of nights just to make sure the residents were okay, and she didn't have to travel back and forth. And I really appreciate her staying here overnight for a couple of nights, and she did a great job. All of our staff did a great job. The kitchen staff was here. Everybody was here making sure our residents were well fed and warm and all the things. So my Hearthside hello goes to our staff and everybody that makes this place run.
All right. Well, you stay safe, stay warm, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
See you, Coleman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is Sean Dozier. He's Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, and That'll take care of Harside this morning, so let me turn to my guest. Brian Hutto is with us this morning, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District. Good morning.
Morning, Coleman. How are you today?
I am doing well, and it's nice to have you with us right here live in studio, and we'll get rolling here talking about the weather. Continue to for a moment here.
Sure.
The snow that last Friday there was just almost no question the snow was coming. The only question was how much.
That's correct. That's correct. And Coleman, that's the perfect. I think 1 out of about 5 inclement weather days is a no-brainer. The forecast is on. The conditions are right. We have plenty of time. We're able to prep, and it works out seamlessly. There's some times where some of this weather will linger. It'll hang around. But Friday was correct. We were actually able to make that notification Thursday prior to lunch. We knew Weather Service is good about giving us updates. They have webinars daily prior to. So, but we also were able to get out and salt, learning from last year and each event we learned. We have some areas that it just does not matter. They don't get the sunshine that's needed to make some of this. So we've at Jones Brummett, the back of Coles Ferry, Sam Houston, we got various spots, and we were able to hit those early and get them taken care of. But we also have to do a shout out. City of Lebanon, they did a fantastic job pre-treating, salting during the event, and this snow was a little different. We didn't have that ice layer under it. So for within the city, we were in good shape. We were out Sunday. Throughout the day, and actually Saturday, we hit some streets. But Sunday, Mr. Ashley, our Director of Transportation, myself, a couple other folks, we hit all the areas. And we came to the conclusion we just didn't have, our buses were fine. They were safe to be transported.
You don't have that many rural areas, I don't guess, and even I don't think there's too many hills and valleys that could cause trouble. It's quite different in the county.
That's correct. Now we do have, we go out Hartsville Pike, we'll go out Peyton Road. There's several others, and the neighborhoods, they can be as problematic as some of your rural areas, especially if it's a tight area and the streets are narrow. Buses can sometimes have issue with curbs and making those turns regardless, but you get ice on it, and it's a whole different variety. But once again, with this one, Sunday, the sun and the mixture of some warmth, it made it easier for us. So Mr. Luttrell and I, we also confer before, during events, and he'll say, hey, we just can't swing it, and being two different systems,
right?
And that sometimes that confuses folks, but both of us agree we want to have kids in school, but we have to be safe. We've got to be safe for our employees. We've got to be safe for our bus drivers. The thought of 90 students on a bus on a slippery road, that's why we build the days in. And for folks that don't know, we go an extra 15 minutes each day. The state allows that, and then we can build in 13 days. Now, we use 5 of those for professional development, but then we have 8 for inclement weather. So for flooding, wind, we had a wind day one year, Coleman. 3 years ago, it was blowing 75 miles an hour, and we had pictures of kindergartners rolling down the road. And we didn't want that. It was also hazardous for the buses. So just for folks to know, the buses, that's a transportation mean we guarantee, so we want to make sure they're safe. We want to make sure our drivers don't have that undue stress, but also our employees. They live all over the place. So we've got to consider that as well.
All right. Well, I guess that's enough about the weather here. We're able to go to school yesterday and have today. It's not the same with the county, and we don't know about tomorrow.
Sure.
Yet. So moving right along.
Sure.
When's your last board meeting?
Hey, we had one last night, Coleman.
Right.
It was, I'm not going to say a light agenda, but it was meaningful. We had some really good content, but I want to start off. So we've shifted this year. We've taken our board meetings on the road. It's the board meeting road show, and we were at Byers Dowdy last night, and so we got to spotlight some of the good things at Byers Dowdy, but they had 2 groups there. Dalton Till's 3rd grade teacher there. He's also the district teacher of the year. But he brought his students. They have a garden at Byers, and if you have a chance, you need to. It's their courtyard garden, and they've got a concept. It's courtyard to cafeteria, so they grow vegetables. They have beans and lettuce and tomatoes and all the things. But last night they also have chickens. Coleman, we had chickens in our board meeting. So he had a group of students. They brought the chickens in. They brought a dozen eggs, which a dozen eggs is valuable today.
Right.
Brought that for the board members, and the students had an opportunity to tell what that opportunity means to them. And they did such a good job of just, they're able to go and they talk about the feeding process and they talk about caring for the chickens and the garden. And it was a really, really neat experience for them to be able to do that.
And let's see, that would be K through 6, or
Pre-K through 5th, yes, sir.
K through 5. So these are fairly.
Oh, they were young. Yeah, they were young. They had prepared. They were really excited. You can check out the pictures on the website. But they did a really good job. The second group, Miss Erica Chick is the teacher, but she has started a group at Byers Dowdy, and it's upper grades, so third through 5th, but it's Lions Lead. And it's talking about leadership and regardless of your place, whether and we say this all the time, regardless of your occupation, you can be a leader. And I use the term, use your powers for good. And so those students had an opportunity to talk about what their group was, what they were going to do, and they do some simple things like putting good notes around the school, doing highlights and shout outs, and so they could explain that, and they did it. Once again, kudos to Byers Dowdy, and I will say on behalf of the board, and I appreciate them. They initiated this moving around, but it was really impressive to see and to be able to spend time in that school.
There are so many negative things in the world, and you can focus on the negative and go crazy. And you can find negative things if that's what you're looking
Correct.
for. But to be positive and to stress being positive and to show the example of being positive.
That's it. That's it to a T. It's it to a T. We have so many things to be grateful for. Now, we have struggles. We have challenges, and we've got a great team to work through those, but there are so many good things happening within the district. So adding to that, last night was our annual review of our strategic plan. And so our strategic plan is a 5-year goal, and we do that in collaboration with the board, with stakeholders, with our employees. And so we were able to do, I'm not going to say a deep dive, we were able to give an overview of where the district currently is. And so we have 4 goals. They have to do with our fiscal responsibility, academics, how we retain and recruit the best employees. And so my team, and I'll give them the kudos to that. I said, hey, let's give the board a good, because how often do you get to sit down and really dig into a document? I mean, we all get busy. So we wanted to update them where we currently were, but we added a goal, and we'll add that when we get to the next section, but it's the share goal. So to your point, there's so many good things. We as a district want to make sure that we're sharing all of these good things, and that sometimes you overlook it because I'm one of those. Our job is to educate students, to prepare them for whatever it is they want to do. And so sometimes you're like, you lose sight of, we got to get this out there. People need to see we had chickens in the board meeting, Coleman.
All right, but it's time for us to take a break. Brian Hutto, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, is here, and more coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways thanks to Bates Ford, and get a battery installed on most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We got a nasty crash out here on the west side. It's out in the Bellevue area on 40 westbound, right near OHB. Of course, the heaviest flow of traffic's on the eastbound side. 24 east on that ramp at 840 in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. They're still working that accident. Wrapping up the paperwork on this one. Should be out of here soon on 24 westbound at Bell Road, slowing down that traffic, trying to get into Antioch from Murfreesboro. When you need dependable towing, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery. Check out strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
And now, a moment of silence to remember our dear friend.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. With a wide range of air conditioners, furnaces, and heat pumps, Rheem makes it easy to feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
And we continue here on a Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you tuned in late, our second half guest, Brian Hutto, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, had a board meeting last night at Byers Dowdy, and you've told us a lot about that and some really really good things this morning.
It was good.
What else do we need to talk about?
It was good. So just capping off the strategic plan. So we've added that additional element, and one of the things with strategic plan, we wanted a word that encapsulated the goals. So we had care, and we had empower, and we had grow, and so this added goal or emphasis will be on the share side. So the district has been engaged in a communications plan, and we're in phase 3 of that. So just to shorten that, it's how do we utilize and capitalize on social media? How do we capitalize on our current platforms? But then we also, the schools do a really good job of this, and they're proud of the initiatives they have and the things they do. So we want to be able to support that at the district level. Some business items we had. There were 4 policies that the board voted on. These were updates. So for the folks out there, policies within the board, that's one of their primary, passing a budget, but then working through policy. TSBA, Tennessee School Board Association, they annually review all of our policies, and then they'll send updates based on new legislation. So we had 4. It was promotion and retention work, background investigation, sick leave, physical examinations. All of those passed. Most of them were just, I'm going to say, vocabulary changes. Sometimes they'll just change the pieces to it. Last item, and we want to get this one out here. So the board, 3 months ago, they did vote to expand the board. So we currently have 3. They voted to add 2. Through this process, it's lots of conversations. It's lots of discussion with what that's going to look like. And so the end result is that our attorney will draft a resolution. The board will vote on that, and that solidifies that expansion. So what they discussed last night are the parameters, and what was agreed upon to move forward was that it'll be 5 zones, and so the next task is what do those 5 zones look like, and so what we'll take census block map, we'll proportion those so that we've got representation in all groups, and then the tricky part is staggering those so that we don't have all of our seats vacant at the same time. So those are currently what they're going to be working through.
Now, if my memory is right, you've had 3 board members who everybody that lived in the district got to vote for each one of those.
Correct. They were at large.
And is that going to change?
So, pending board action, that's the direction that they intend to go. So, and I'll reinforce that they've got to have the resolution, and then that goes to the legislature. But the way it would work, what was proposed last night that will be voted on hopefully February, is that they redistrict per se and put them into zones like you would be familiar with. City council has a zone.
Right.
Wilson County School Board, they're in zones. Now, being in a city school system, they'll have to be, because populations are denser in different areas, so we want to make sure that they have representation in it all. And the goal is that you have a voice for, as we grow, that the board would grow with them.
So it will be divided on population pretty much, approximately the same number of people for each zone.
That would be the goal and the intent. And there's some requirements. I believe that you can't have 10% different. They give you a little leeway, but as it stands, and from a candidate's perspective, at large is good because you represent the whole district.
Right.
But from a candidate's perspective, you also have to campaign the whole district. And there's the potential that folks get left out. And so, I think the board with this move is we want to make sure we're representative of the community, and it gives more people an opportunity. And I'll tell you, I don't know how many people sign up and want to be a school board member, right?
I'm thinking the population of Lebanon's about 44,000 last census. How big is the district is not totally inside the city limits of Lebanon?
Right. We go inside and we go outside in certain areas. So we'll take that census block map and then we'll overlay the district map.
Do you know the population of the district itself?
Oh, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
But it would be a little bit more, or would it?
It may be really close, because if you think about the areas where we pull in and where we go out, I'd say it's fairly comparable to what the city is. Now, that also adds a wrinkle because the easiest thing, why wouldn't you just follow the city council lines? And it just wouldn't work because of where we pull in and where we go out. And then on top of that, some people have said, why don't you just use school zones? Well, that only hits the individuals that have school-age children. And we have a large population that are invested in our school system. So we want to make sure they have a voice as well.
Well, let's just say if there were 50,000 people, that would be 10,000 per.
Correct.
Divided by 5 or 45, you'd have 9,000. So something in that neighborhood.
Something in that neighborhood, most likely. And to the other point, when we say how many people want to be a school board member, it's a great opportunity to serve the community. I use your term all the time. You talked about Lebanon Special as the gym of the city of Lebanon, and so that'll be one of the pieces, if this goes through, that we really talk about what it means to be a board member and the ability to serve and to help guide and take care of our students.
One other thing that comes to my mind here is how soon are we talking about having this implemented, because it does take a little time to do it, but does that come up yet?
So we'll be under time crunch. We will be. So it would, if it passes in February, it would go to the legislature. The legislature would vote on that private act. We would get that back, and they typically do private acts towards the end of the session. So I think we would have a green light. Let's just use green light for lack of a better term, around May. And then there would be the work between that time of what do the zones look like, because we'll start pulling petitions next fall. So October, November of this year, petitions will start getting pulled, and then we'll have an election 26. So this will roll into effect soon.
Okay. I'm thinking off the top of my head here, but I guess we would probably have a primary maybe next spring.
Right.
So it could possibly coincide with
That's the goal. The goal is that we don't, and it wouldn't be cost effective for the district to do its own. And I don't know how much turnout you get. So we would want to align with the current election cycle and getting this through now and then adding it. So to your point, that this summer, getting that ironed out so that when people pull a petition to run for school board, they know what zone they're in. Yeah. And we make sure we get the folks involved.
Well, a lot more conversations to be had about that.
Sure.
But that probably takes care of it up to this point. But we'll see how all this shakes out.
Yeah.
What else you got?
A couple items. Of course, Monday we're out of school for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's a day that there's lots of opportunities for students to engage and for families to engage, and so we'll be out there. But I do want to put February 27th on the calendar. We have a showing. This is partnership with Wilson County and Drug Free Realco. It's a program called Screenagers, and it talks about addiction, particularly with devices and the amount of time we spend on devices. It's going to give some information on what it does to our brains, even as adults. It's a really good program. That's going to happen at the Capitol Theater on February the 27th. I did not write the time down, but we'll get that out. They can look for more information. But that is a partnership with Wilson County Schools and Drug Free Realco, and we just want to make sure that our families understand. And for us, we've talked about devices before. It's hard to compete when we get into that notion of phones and iPads and all the other things. So we want to make sure our families know. So, yep.
Well, the more information probably can be disseminated about that, the better it is, and parents especially need because things change. They can change drastically the way certain things are done.
That's correct.
And sometimes it takes a while for that to kind of get out and people to understand, but we're working on it.
It's with most things, we need to make sure we have guardrails, and really we want to make sure families understand this is what is accessible and available, and just to keep good eyes on it. And if you need help, we're here to help, and we're happy to do that. Just another calendar item, our next board meeting is February the 10th. That is at 6 p.m., and we'll be at Coles Ferry Elementary. We'll most likely be in the gymnasium, but Coles Ferry Elementary, February the 10th, will be our next board meeting. They'll, of course, be discussing the sport expansion and finalizing that. We'll also have We'll start the budget process, just an overview. And so we're going to use this spring. This will be a new iteration. We started the process earlier last year. One of the things we want to do is give an overview, preview, so people can stay tuned for that. And we'll be doing that in increments throughout the spring.
Well, this will kind of be like for you going home a little bit at Coles Ferry.
It will be. It will be, yeah.
You were principal there before you became
correct. 10 years. 10 years at Coles Ferry.
Really? Time flies.
It does.
If you had asked me, I would not guess you were there that long.
Well, and so Billy earlier said, I didn't know you had a daughter that was in college. I would have never. I said, I appreciate that. I feel it.
Well, we did when we had our station party over at Susie's house, and your daughter came over there and helped out a little bit. Got to meet her as well.
Yeah, she was excited to get to do that. She was.
Well, here in our last minute, things are looking up. You managed to stay positive. That's one of the things I'd have to say about you. No matter what you're facing, it seems like if there's a way to put a positive spin on it, you're able to do that.
Right. Well, and Coleman off air, we talked about attitude of gratitude. We have lots of things to be grateful for, and we take the challenges and we work through them. But it's also a product of a system that is invested in all in. And a board that recognizes that and supports that. So we're thankful for what we get to do, and when we have a challenge, we work through it. But we also want to highlight all the good things.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us today. We'll see you in February.
Sounds great. Thank you, Coleman.
All right. That is it for a Tuesday. Brian Hutto, Director of Schools, and with that, let me invite you to be with us tomorrow. Until then, I wish you a tremendous day.